Have we got everybody? Yes. Well, hello and welcome to my kitchen. Thursday, the 6th June 2019. And unfortunately, it's not a live show. I do apologise, but I have things happening that are taking me away and stretching my resources. So I thought I'd record this show, post it up for you, and if you leave your questions and things in the comments below, I'll get to them as soon as I can, if not tonight, tomorrow. Or you can send me a line via the Cheapskates Contact Us form. So, granola, muesli, crunchy granola, toasted muesli. They're all terms that we're all pretty much familiar with, although granola and crunchy granola are fairly new terms for Australians coming from the US. We are more familiar with the muesli and toasted muesli terms. Same, but different, as kids say. So, but tonight I'm going to show you how you can make your own and save mega bucks, and then you can make it to suit your taste simply by what you add to it or don't add to it. We're going to start with a basic mix, which is on the Cheapskates Club website, and it's called Lazy Housewife's Granola. It is just a basic toasted muesli mix, and we'll start with that. It's really easy to do. It's really cheap. Takes 5 minutes to put together and about half an hour in the oven. Job's done. And speaking of ovens, let me just check this one. Perfect. Okay, just needing to check because I have a batch in the oven already cooking, so I can show you what it looks like when it's finished toasting. Okay, we're going to start with 7 cups of rolled oats. Now these are just ordinary old rolled oats, not quick oats, rolled oats. Just your regular porridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I didn't buy my oats in bulk, I'd just weigh them and buy however much it is in weight, while I buy my oats in 5 kilo bags. So measuring out the cups is easier. That's the basis. That's it. That's the bulk of your granola. Now we're going to just take a little pot and we're going to take a little brown sugar. And we're going to take about a half a cup of brown sugar. Let me just, this is a lumpy one. I'm still going through that lumpy one that we had. Oh, yeah, it's not too bad. It is softening up. About a half a cup of brown sugar. That looks good. Scoop it in. There we go, a bit more because it was a bit missing on the bottom. I didn't pack it down, I just scooped it in and tossed it in the saucepan. Half a cup of brown sugar. Now we need half a cup of vegetable oil, any vegetable oil, although I don't suggest olive oil unless it's a really light olive oil, because you can get a taste. Olive oil is really good for baking veggies and things, and it is great in regular baking. It makes cakes so moist and delicious, but you have to be careful and make sure you use a really light one or you do get that taste. So I'm using grapeseed oil because that's the oil that was open in the pantry, and it is half a cup. Okay, now I'm measuring the oil first and I'll show you why in just a second. Into the pot, because you also need a half a cup of honey. Now, another little trick, jar or pot or whatever, I've warmed it in the microwave for 20 seconds so that it's warm and it's thin, it's runny. And I'm going to pour it straight into, you can see how runny it is, straight into the half cup measure that I had the oil in first, and then straight into the pot. And bazinga bazonga. it's all out. It's totally clean. There's no honey sticking to the side. So when you're measuring oils and honeys or syrups, maple syrup, pancake syrup, whatever, like that, do the oil first, then do the syrup or the sugar, or melted butter. If you're going to do melted butter and syrups, melt the butter, then measure out the syrup, just so it doesn't stick to the cup. It's just easier. Some cinnamon, just for a little bit of flavour, about half a teaspoon, because I'm going to jazz it up with a bit of mixed spice, and I'm going to use a nice big heaping teaspoon of mixed spice, and about a teaspoon, tablespoon, maybe a bit more. If you like vanilla, a bit more, but the recipe will say a teaspoon. Now, give that a mix up. There's my trusty spatula. This is going to cook on, I do this on the stove. You could do it in the microwave if you wanted to, but it's just as easy to put it on the stove, just over a medium-ish heat. So don't set fire to them. There we go. I'll turn that heat down for the moment, and you all know how to test your gas flame, whether it's for medium, high, low on your saucepans. Doesn't matter what the size of the saucepan is. Turn it down and look underneath, and a medium heat should be, the flare should be around half the base of the saucepan. So you should have, low will be about a third and high should be almost to the edge of the saucepan base. So I'm just going to stir that because we want it all to mix in together and melt. And while that's happening, I'll put the lid back on the oil, because if I don't, I'll spill it. Those over there. I'm going to grab out the trays that I have baking. They're in a moderate oven, so 175, 180 degrees, depending on your oven. Now, can you see how golden and toasty that is? I need to hold that paper, but it's hot. Now, I put it on baking. You don't have to put it on baking paper if you don't want to. I think I've told you before, I don't like doing dishes and scrubbing pots and things. Okay, so that's golden, toasty, and done. It just needs to cool on the trays now, and that's why I've done it ahead of time, so you can see what it looks like when it's finished. That's your lazy housewife granola ready to go. I'm just going to pop it down here next to this one. I'll move my sweet potatoes out of the way. Sweet potatoes are 29 cents a kilo, Pellegrinos this week, so we stocked up big time. Okay. Now, everything seems to be dissolved. No sugary bits. No. Cool. All right. Trivet. Pouring syrup over the oats. Now, I need to do this way. And spatula and scrape it all in. Okay. Into the sink over the pot. Now, I use a fork for this bit. It's the stirring, the folding of the syrup, folding through of the syrup, and it takes a couple of minutes. This is the trickiest part of the whole process, I think, making sure all the oats are covered with the syrup. Now you can buy bulk oats at any health food store type thing. You can get them online, you can get them locally. If you have a good health food shop locally to you, you can go in and ask them if they can order them in bulk for you. Just regular rolled oats are really good, versatile, because they go in all sorts of things. Anzac slice, Anzac biscuits. Have them for your breakfast, of course. I add them to meatloaves and rissoles and meatballs as a stretcher. Now, can you see? I think I've got it all. Making sure I love these Pyrex bowls because I can see into them, so that if there's any bits I've missed, I can tell. Because there's nothing worse than trying to mix something and pouring it out and getting to the bottom and finding a big clump of something you haven't mixed through. Okay, this smells really good. Really, really good. Now, I put it on 2 trays because I like it to be reasonably thin layers so they toast fairly evenly. So baking paper lined tray. And start at one end. It's about half. Just spread it out in thin layer. Just like that. Okay, we'll do the next one. Just like so. Now, this is great as it is for breakfast. You just have some milk on it. And gobble it up. Sprinkle it over some muesli. You can sprinkle it, use it as a fruit topping. It makes a great, trust me on this, makes me a great crumble topping. If you're doing a fruit crumble for a pudding, apple, apricot, plum, rhubarb, whatever. Okay, so they're ready to go into the oven, and they go into a moderate oven, 180, for about 10 minutes. So, set my timer. I use that timer because it has a really loud bell. The oven timer, I never hear the oven timer go off. So half the time anything that's in the oven with the oven timer on gets burnt. So 10 minutes, take it out, give it a stir around, put it back in for another 10 minutes. Lazy Housewife's granola is done. Now you let it cool on the trays. Once it's cool, you can break it up and put it into an airtight container and eat it as is. Just have a little milk on it, or you can have a little juice on it. Try it with orange juice. It's really good. Sounds weird, but it tastes great. You can have hot milk on it. We're coming into winter. We're in winter here. And having it with hot milk is really nice in the mornings. Just a nice warm way to start the day. You can add to it. And that's what I'm going to talk about next. Once it's cold, not while it's hot, once it's cold, you can add fruit. So you can add sultanas, you can add raisins, chopped apricots, dried apple, dried pineapple. I love craisins in it, the dried cranberries, so I put craisins in it. You can add your nuts to it. Almonds, walnuts, hazelnuts, pecans, whatever, chop them up, stir those through. Those things go in after the granola is cold. Don't do it while it's warm because they go a bit soggy and irky. You can add seeds to it, so pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds or whatever you like to it. It's pretty much limited by your imagination. The other thing I do to it when I'm adding to it, I add craisins and almonds and all grain. Just probably a cup and a half of all grain, stirred through it, and it bulks it out, doesn't cost much, and the all grain's good for us. So that's another thing we can do with it too. It tastes really good. It's very inexpensive. If you want to add a whole heap of expensive things to it, then it's going to cost as much as a bought one, but it doesn't have the salt. You're controlling the sugar, and yes, it does seem to have a lot of sugar because you've got the honey and the brown sugar. You can try leaving them out. You don't need to use honey. You can use maple syrup instead of honey. You can use agave syrup instead of honey if you want to. Use whatever you like. You can use half and half. You can even use good old MOO pancake syrup if you want to. So play around with it, experiment with it. I would, if you're going to experiment, I would make half the recipe or a third of the recipe, just to make sure that you like what you've done. Otherwise, you're going to be left with an awful lot of cereal that you've got to eat if you're not fond of it. So play around with it, but don't be afraid to make it your own and make it your own version of granola, crunchy granola, toasted muesli, call it what you like. It's all the same thing. Now, while I was setting up, I had a whole heap of things I was running through my head, and they're gone. That's all right, because I've lost my notes. I had a piece of paper. Doesn't matter. That's all there is to it, really. It's really simple, quick, easy, and if you do it when you're already cooking in the oven, you've got cakes or something in the oven, you don't even have to turn the oven on as an extra expense to do it. So again, utilizing what you've got and what you are already using to stretch your dollars further too will always help. It smells really good. I wish we could sort of waft the smell towards you, because it smells really, really good. It takes a while to cool. It's still quite warm. Let me see, where's my pot holder gone? I'll bring it over and show you. As it cools, it sort of hardens up. So that's when you can break it into clumps. I know quite a few of you like the clusters, the muesli clusters and the granola clusters. So let it cool on the tray and break it into the clumps. Really good. Sorry. Now I'll have a cup of tea to wash it down. But it tastes great. There's no reason why anyone wouldn't like this cereal. It also makes a good base. Just thought of something else that I use it for. Trail mix. When the kids were in youth camp and they used to go on hiking trips, hiking camp and youth club, and go on hiking camps and stuff, I used to make trail mix for them. And this was a good base for the trail mix. So I'd throw in chopped bits, I'd throw in extra coconut, some rice bubbles, puffed rice, whatever you want to call it. What else did I put in there? Sometimes I'd even be nice and throw in some Smarties or M&Ms if I got them on sale. The raisins, sultanas, apple, whatever. And it makes a really good trail mix too. It will keep, once it's cold, it will keep in an airtight container for weeks on the shelf. So it doesn't go stale very quickly. If you find it is starting to go stale, you find it's a bit soft or something, you don't quite like it, freshen it in the oven. 5 minutes in a moderate oven will freshen it up again. But if you do that, you do need to use it fairly quickly after you've done that. But there you go. That's our save dollars on make your own granola. You save a fortune. As I said, hunt around for where you can buy your oats in bulk. I know Costco do them in 5 kilo bags. I buy them from a Whole Foods place in Croydon in 5 kilo lots. You get them online. Hindustan, I'm not sure if Hindustan do oats. I've never bought them from Hindustan, but they may well do so. But hunt around. As with all things, doesn't matter where you live, you're going to get the best price for your area if you hunt around for it. And yes, it takes time, but if you're going to be on the computer anyway or on the phone, playing on your phone anyway, you might as well be doing something useful instead of playing, what is it, Candyland, whatever, Candyland Crush, is that right? So, you know, do something that's going to benefit you and not just take up your time. Okay, well, it was short and I hope not too sharp. Really easy. The recipe is in the comments below. If you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. I would really love to have you as a subscriber. It does good things for my ego. Probably think it doesn't need anything else, but you know, it does good things for my ego and for Hannah's. And YouTube really likes it too. And if you click the little bell next to the subscribe, you'll be notified every time a video comes up. Every time we've got a live show coming up, you won't have to rely on me to remind you or let you know that I have something coming up. We have a really good challenge for you on Tuesday night, and we will be live on Tuesday night. So that's the 11th, Tuesday the 11th of June. And I've been working on this challenge for you all. So I hope you all come back and eager on Tuesday to accept my challenge and start saving money now, because that's what we want to do. It's what we need to do. But I'll go more into that on Tuesday night. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. If you've lasted this long with just me parroting on, I really appreciate it. And I shall see you all on Tuesday. Let's find my note because I've gone to sleep. Sorry, everything goes to sleep around here, including me. Okay, thanks so much for being with me tonight. I have really appreciated it. And I will talk to you on Tuesday. Bye.